Why do we not trust that life has our back? And how is that shaping everything? We look to people outside of us. We look to the astrology. We look to psychics to tell us what's going to happen. And why do we do that? Number one, it's because most people don't know that they are creating their lives. But the big reason that I see when I work with clients is that we just don't think that life has our back. We don't expect everything to work out. I'm Wanda Vitale. I'm a certified life coach, and this comes up for me a lot with clients because I work with clients who are saying, hey, this stuff that I'm doing isn't working and I want different results in my life. That's why I'm talking about this today. We say, oh, I'm fine. Everything is fine. And we do the work, we stay positive, and you're trying to stay aligned, whatever that means for you. For most people, it means, oh, I just need to think happy thoughts and I'll push the other stuff down. And the stuff that I don't want to feel, I'll just deal with it later. And we never deal with it. But underneath it all, what's happening is that you're saying, and you're more than that, feeling, I can't trust life. I don't believe life has my back. There's bad things that could happen. And I get it. That mistrust is everywhere now. And it's amped up because of everything that's happening in the world. Everything that we thought we could count on is slowly, or not so slowly, being revealed to be not in our best interest, or corrupt, or unstable. But here's what's really going on, and this is what I see with clients. We've been taught to expect disappointment. Can you relate to that? We've been trained to lower our hopes just enough so that if things don't work out, if we don't get what we want, we're not shattered. And some of you grew up with a parent, like I did, who said, honey, don't get your hopes up. You may not get what you want. And that came from a parent whose hopes were dashed. That was certainly the case of my mother. And so automatically we take that on and say, oh, well, this is just what you do in life. It's not being realistic. It's protection. It's believing that I need to be protected because life doesn't have my back. It means that we have a nervous system that never really relaxes. And if you've listened to me before, then you know that your nervous system runs the show. It's your inner child. If that part of you inside never really feels safe, it's really saying, can I just let go? And the cost, and what's the cost of that protection, of never getting your hopes up in case you don't get what you want? It's a nervous system that never really relaxes. It's always on guard. It means for most people, backup plans. Well, if this doesn't work, I'll do B, C, and D. And so underneath all that is this quiet ache that says, if I really let go, I just let go, will life really catch me? And I would say, for most of you listening, the answer is no. And some of you do know that because you've worked through this. There's so many people now in the manifesting community, how to consciously create what you want. You're doing the right things, you're journaling, you're imagining what you want, and it's not working. Because if your foundation, if your nervous system is bracing for what if this doesn't work, life mirrors that. So most of us learn that we do more. I can't trust life to give me the income that I want or the clients that I want. So I need to do more. I need to work harder. I need to fix my messaging. I need to fill in the blank. But it's about doing more. But That's not what works. Because even in that, we're saying, I don't have this thing that I want. And I can't rely on life just to dump it in my lap, can I? That's what most of you think. So that I used to think that too, because we're really saying, I don't have this thing that I want. I can't trust life. And underneath it all, which is your energy, your nervous system, it's saying, I can't let go. It's not safe. I have to keep pushing and doing something different if I want to get what I want, because I can't just trust. And guess what? That's really what we get, because we're like big tuning forks that project out into the world an energy signature. And when our energy signature has that, well, I don't trust life, then your higher self, your soul, who loves you and adores you and would never impose upon your free will, says, okay, I'll reflect the same. So it's not about doing more. It's not about learning more. It's about unlearning the part of you that stopped believing that life was safe to trust. If you're feeling that, if you're just not in crisis, but it might be a low-grade mistrust that you've been calling normal. It's the blah. It's just the blahs. It's waking up in the morning and saying, what do I have to do today? Life is asking us right now to step into our authenticity, to step into what really excites us, and to believe that we get to have that. And we do. There is within you not only dreams that your soul says, here's a dream, like a carrot, here's a dream. And by choosing that dream, all of these other parts of you, your old identity that say, I can't trust life, come up. And again, this is just one of the things that I see surfacing in clients right now. I just can't trust. I have to do more. They don't trust the stillness. They don't trust the down moments when nothing is happening. They're caretaking. And if you're a woman listening to this, that's very common. Most of us have grown up taking care of everybody else. We also have other lives as caretakers, of being the ones that kept everybody safe. But now it's time for you to know that you are safe. It's time for you to know that life does have your back. And that just because you see something in your world that's not what you want, it's not a sign. It's not a symbol. It doesn't mean anything. That's what gets so many people messed up in terms of manifestation. Something happens that they don't prefer, and they say, I must be doing something wrong or this wouldn't be here. And that's not how it works. When we're safe, when we know that life truly has our back and wants us to have what we want, things might show up that aren't what we prefer, but they don't capture our attention. We just let them go on by. If your bank account dips, you know, oh, that means money's on the way, clients are on the way. If it could be anything, but this is where most people get, I think, confused, because at the core, they don't trust life. They trust everybody else. They trust astrologers. They trust psychics. They trust somebody who has an opinion. But what I want you to know is that you have a blueprint, an energetic blueprint within you. And it has your dreams. It has a life in you that you're here to live, and it has the path to it. But You can't listen to it. You can't listen to that quiet, still voice when you're bracing for life, which is what most people are. Watch out, look out, this could happen. And I get it. And at the same time, all these things are coming up, the fear, the doubt, the anxiety, because your blueprint, the energy of your blueprint is getting louder and louder. So it's bringing up everything that doesn't fit with it, saying, hey, here's fear. Is this still true? Or is this a decision that you made when you were little? Here's anxiety. What's the assumption behind that? Is that still true? Does the assumption that you have now support this dream I'm here to deliver to you? That's what's happening, friends. Nothing is wrong. We create our lives from the inside out. When our body or our nervous system is no longer bracing, thinking, what if I don't get what I want? Oh, I just can't get my hopes up. I'll be too hurt. Nothing changes. That's when we feel stuck. That's when life feels pretty much like life on the hamster wheel. And I personally think most people feel that way. They're making outer circumstances responsible for everything when the work is inside. What do I believe? Is who I believe I am, is that true, or is it just something that I learned? So I hope this lands with you so that you can look at yourself and ask, where do I believe life hasn't got my back? Where have I decided that I've got to take the bad with the good? Where have I decided that I just don't always get what I want? And decide you get to have what you want, and that it can happen when we start partnering with love, because that's what life is. Life wants to love you, but you've got to open to it fully. I'd love to hear your comments. You have this. You're unraveling everything that you learned to create a life that you love to wake up to. And we can. One that flows, one that delivers in your lap, to your lap, the perfect ideas, the perfect next steps. Ideas that feel exciting so that you can take action in the direction of what you love, not to avoid something bad. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and hit subscribe if you haven't.